In order at 6:02. Mrs. Webb, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. State, I believe we'll turn it over to you for our presentation this evening.
Sure, I'll gladly turn it over to Mr. Cowan for his budget. Status update.
Okay. We'll be very brief tonight. I'm going to go up to the screen because if I don't, I forget to turn it while I'm sitting here looking at what's in front of me. So bring up the slideshow. So, as I said, very brief tonight, but one question that came up at last meeting was, will there be additional requests from the administration for changes to the programs for 25-26? And I think it was in reference to, rather than stay at the status quo, we want to make sure that we're always growing in Sauquoit. And so I went back the next day and thought about that, and I said, we've done a lot in the last 4 years since the pandemic, and this kind of illustrates that the programs that are highlighted in green, we've increased our teaching professional staff since 2021, which was really when the pandemic began. And those that are highlighted in yellow, we've decreased. So we've decreased in our K-6 by 2 sections through this point in time. We have decreased our special ed. That was temporary, 1-year thing that happened for this year, 24-25, as we realign some things in the administrative level. And that will be added back in 25-26. So that will be returning. And we've also decreased it by a couple of teacher assistants. But you can see we've increased our ENL, or English as a Second Language, guidance we've added, math AIS, music, and reading. A number of support programs for kids that have increased since the pandemic started. Now, you're well aware that a lot of that happened because of the funding that was available through the pandemic. However, last year, the community supported us keeping those programs by approving that 5.5% tax levy increase. So, kudos to the community for saying, and the administration saying we need this, and the community approving it. So we've kind of got the program today, and really next year, I think, where we want to be as far as support for the kids. And then we can kind of take a look, and administration can look at where do we go from there. We have what we need in solid programs. We have what we can support with our finances. And if we can expand it, there's certainly things that the administration will always be looking for. But at this point in time, I think this is where we will start 25-26 with just that one additional special education teacher. Next 2 slides are just what I showed you last time, really the makeup of the expenditure budget. No changes have been made here. These are the numbers, and then the revenues that were projected last meeting, giving us that deficit of $392,000. And really from there, what have we done, or where will we go to try to balance this budget? $392,000 would get us to that 2.38% tax levy increase, which is our tax cap for 25-26. If we went out right now and levied at 6.7%, we wouldn't have to do anything. But we're certainly not looking to do that. We're planning to go out at the tax cap for 2025-26. And there's some things that have happened that I've included here to adjust to get us close to that number. We're not quite there yet, but I'll go through each of them pretty quickly. The BOCES adjustments, in February, I make an estimate of what the programs we have for BOCES, what the increases to those costs will be. In mid-February, I get the commitment forms from OHM BOCES. They tell me what the real costs are. I plug them in, and usually I try to plug in a little bit high. So in this case, once I plugged in the real numbers, we did save about $30,000 in our total BOCES programs for 25-26. Miscellaneous income, I took a look at the $950,000 that I had initially budgeted there, and I am confident that we can move that up by another $100,000. Now, some of that may be a one-time revenue in 25-26, but it will happen in 25-26. So I'm confident in that $100,000 there. I did have in the initial budget that was proposed the 2 instructional teachers that we know are going to retire at the end of this school year. but I did not include a teacher assistant. So when I went back and looked, I said, I did not include this individual, a teacher assistant. Her retirement will occur. If we're able to fill that position at a starting teacher assistant level, that would save us about $10,000. We also have a teacher in our elementary school who has indicated she's going to retire upon the reaching her retirement age of 55 in January. If that's the case, talking with Mr. Putnam, we would complete the year with a long-term sub in there. That would save us some money, about $35,000. The $90,000 here would be an increase in our state aid. The governor had proposed increasing foundation aid by 2%. Mr. Staten had been in Albany, and the talk out there is that it's going to go up to 3%. I said, I'll put it in there. And I think one way or another, we'll make that work. I know Tony had gotten some information today on one house budgets, moving it up to 2.9 or 3% of foundation aid. That would be approximately $90,000. So that's in there at this time. I'm fairly confident that even if it doesn't happen through foundation aid, we can make that work in another aid area in 25, 26. Ms. Arcuri looked at our speech services, and we've had 1.5 individuals from BOE serving our students for the last couple of years. Looks like in 25, 26, that can be reduced by 0.2 of an FTE. That'll save us about $31,000. And we have one student at a alternative ed placement at BOE this year who it is anticipated will graduate. And at this point in time, we're not expecting any students to be included or moving to an alternative ed program in 25, 26. So that's being removed as well. So with those adjustments, some reductions in expenditures, a couple of increases in our revenues from starting at that 6.7% tax levy with that initial budget. Those items get us down to $9,363,000 or about 3.1%. Our tax levy limit, $9,298,000. We're still about $65,000 off. That we will work to present to you at the next meeting, a number that will be at our tax cap limit one way or another. And it's hopefully can be done without too much pain. I mean, there's some things that we talked about, even if we look at, the equipment, there's 20,000 there that we could remove if we needed to. We'd love to keep that in there because there are some needs. Talking with Kathy Wakefield today, we have to get new AEDs throughout the district because the ones that we currently have are no longer being serviced. So there's some money there that may need to be purchased in 25, 26. And just, it's nice to keep some money in the equipment year after year in any case. But with that, if there's any questions from the board or the audience, I'd be happy to try to answer them. Yes, sir. Mike.
Why not just 3.1%?
That would require the 60%. That's the supermajority. I mean, we could certainly do that. Or that is the board's prerogative, I would say. I think we can stay within the tax cap for 25, 26. We went to 5.5 last year. Will we need to again in the future? I believe we will. I think we can get there without doing a lot of damage to the programs at the school district for 25, 26. So I think we'll get to the 2.38%. But if the board wants to try 3+, it's their prerogative. We can talk about that in more detail in future, the next meeting or whatever. Any other questions?
The increase in the special ed position, does that go back to the high school?
I think it's going to be shared between a couple of
Yep, it's gonna
buildings.
be split between the middle and the high school because we're looking to extend our 15-to-1 English and math programs we currently have right through 8th grade. And try to, like we talked about last time, keep that continuum so we stop sending so many kids out. So that teacher, a couple periods a day will help support that, and the rest of the time will be back in high school.
Good for tonight. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Any questions from the audience, any comments? We welcome your input. Good. All right, Mr. Station, that's our presentation. We'll go into Board of Education committee reports.
Sure, I'll start with board operations relations development. So Patty Lynn and I met a couple weeks ago. Talked about some of the topics he is. Beginning of the year, and one of them was the SMART goal for the Board of Education for this school year. So I just want to review what those goals were and what we've accomplished to date. So SMART goal number one essentially was to increase extracurricular opportunity for students, whether it's club, sports team, or academic programs. And to date, we offered an open gym. We've taken the stress less day down to the middle school, so they offered a middle school stress less day / secret spirit week. We have a boys golf team this year that we did not have before. We'll have a JV baseball team we didn't offer previously. At the high school, they've started initiatives including career bites, sort of fitness, and the nest. So we feel that we're in a good position to meet that for SMART goal. Any questions on any things?
I just added middle school, we had a career day back in this year through SAFA, and Alyssa Cook is piloting a chess club, and we had PTO purchase all the chess boards, and we had about, I'd say, like 18 kids show up the first week. So it was exciting.
As a chess nerd, I'm disappointed that I forgot about that.
We won.
SMART goal number two. Basically details the recruitment and retention of staff. And so I'll just say that starting from September 1, after the beginning of the school year, we've added Paul Baker full-time permanently now as the high school Spanish teacher, Ashley Morat in the middle school as a counselor, and then the 2 flagpoles in the high school. They've all been great additions to the staff. So
Thank you for that.
that's been important. We're doing all right for that. SMART goal number 3 was implement cost-saving measures. And today we've talked about, we've added the option for tuition. We do have a few tuition-paying students. As you alluded to earlier, Noah Fury, our special ed director, is looking at cost-saving measures, including keeping more students on campus, so that'll help us. And we will be initiating an energy performance contract with the capital project. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But those initiatives hopefully will save us funding. And SMART goal number 4 essentially details enhancing student safety. And so to address that, as you know, we're working on the lockdown system. So that when that triggers, the blue light system will occur on all three buildings at the same time. We've upgraded the phone system. We've got new digital monitors in the cafeteria that will have the capacity, I believe, to send out alerts when needed. And we're still replacing classroom doors in elementary school to narrow the view in there. And we did actually talk about the fireworks over Sauquoit. We will be increasing the security presence at that event. So a lot of initiatives to increase security. So those are the SMART goals. Again, we'll review those at the end of the school year, but we felt that mid-season update was appropriate. Any questions on those?
Did we lose one of our tuition children? Did they go back to their?
Charlie's nodding, so I'll take that as a yes.
Okay. Did they give a reason as to why?
Not to me.
Not you?
All right, moving down, the facilities and transportation. I did email Adam Crossman, Scott Gillette, and just to get their availability. So I'll be sending out a Google form soon, and that subcommittee will meet within the next month or so. Same thing with technology. We have a couple initiatives that we're working on with our technology partner, Keep Company. Once that's implemented, we'll call this technology subcommittee meeting to order. School Boards Institute, there's an SBI showcase on March 27th at OHM BOCES, and we potentially may feature Mr. Reed maybe stationing a booth up there to talk about the stress less days. Our Fury's working with the advisors of the Handshakes organization at the extracurricular club, so they may station a table up there, and Lisa Smith, County State may station a table on the team up there. And we may have another one, but I don't want to. I'm not sure yet, so I don't want to announce it. But this is definitely have representation.
2 would be plenty.
Okay.
They would appreciate 2. If every district submitted 1, we had 2, that would be outstanding. If you have 3, that would be great, but I don't think we need three. Just save it for next year.
We've got some overachievers that want to start, but we'll run the max. Sure. And let's see, policy committee, we just had our meeting, so we'll be setting forth a couple policies for the next meeting to improve. And Finance committee. The budget. That's all for the subcommittees.
I have one question on retention of staff. I believe we lost one staff to an administrative position, right, a year ago,
Yes,
right? But we haven't lost a staff to another district in a few years, is that correct? Right? Mark,
We lost a counselor.
to another district?
Yes.
Was that a salary issue?
Middle school.
Was it
Oh,
a salary issue? Or was it proximity to home or anything
I
like that?
think both. I think it was yeah, I think the proximity was a little closer, and I think there was certainly an increase, there was an increase in salary, and I think given the individual's age, just looking out, big picture, it just makes sense.
Thank you.
That was my understanding.
No, I didn't recall that. I know we lost. What was her name?
Uh,
Yes, to Central Valley as an administrator, right? That's good news, right? That is good news.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right, Tracy. Okay, thank you, Danny. Move into the superintendent's report, 6.1.
so as you probably are aware, if you're not, I know your kids are, there's no school on Friday, superintendent's conference day, so yeah. The high school, middle school will be talking about year 2 vocab, AI. There's some grading discussions, a lot of team meetings and special ed meetings, some TA trainings, a lot of good things happening on Friday for superintendent's conference day. 6.2 board candidate petitions, just remind the public, anyone interested, that the forms are due to the district office on Monday, April 21st. Anyone is interested in writing for a board position. 6.3. For those that may be interested in running as a board member, there is a workshop entitled How to Become a School Board of Education Candidate and What to Expect to Elect. So that's running next week on the 18th. Anyone interested? Please call Marie Goodman at the district office. 6.4 board members. So this refers to our seat on the BOE board is not up, but we vote for those seats every year. We vote on the BOE board. So that's what that refers to. You're not getting off that.
I thought you were throwing me off.
Sorry.
I got 1 year left. I'd like
We're
to
going to extend your term.
I want to finish my 15 years. I thought I was going to get my walking. Thank you.
$6.5 Dolly Imagination Library. So Mark Putnam's been involved with this. The SV Foundation has been very supportive. So this initiative that we're planning to bring to the students in Sauquoit Valley next year. Essentially, they would receive, all those students from birth to 5 years old would receive a free book in the mail once a month for 4 years. So we don't think that that's a great initiative. Many other districts in the region offer that service too. So with the support of the SV Foundation, we will be starting that next school year. So we're very excited about that. 6.6 sports updates. So I think I mentioned last time that Leo Calissimo, 8th grade student on our bowling team, he qualified for the shootouts. And in the shootouts, the first round, he rolled a 698. If you're not familiar with bowling, 698 is an outstanding score, especially for an 8th grader. So he went on to the next round, and then he didn't advance beyond that. But still, for him to get that far, especially as an 8th grader, is quite an accomplishment. So very excited on kudos to him. Julie McCuzak, part of the New Hartford team that won Section 3 state title in Buffalo. And now she's going to club team.
Yeah, that's all it is. But States for Club is next weekend. That never stops.
That's a lifestyle.
That's who she is.
On the track, Addison Lazarek recently competed down in Staten Island at the state competition where she placed 7th in the triple jump. So great job, Addison. So now she will advance to the nationals in Boston. And that's coming up next. And then lastly, most of you probably know by now, our boys volleyball team, they won the sectionals, and then a couple days later, they won the regionals. So congratulations to that team. 6.7 staff recognitions. Okay, staff recognitions. So Doug Jones was recently recognized. He'll be at a conference this fall. He could be recognized as the athletic director of the year. So good job, Doug Jones. He jokingly said it was just his turn. He's been an athletic director for a long time, but I'm sure he did something amazing to earn that recognition. And Joe Corletto, our tech teacher that teaches in both middle school and high school. He was recently recognized as Regional Teacher of the Year by his colleagues from the Mohawk Valley Technology and Engineering Educators Association. I inadvertently put that he'll be recognized this fall. It's actually in 2 nights, March 13th, he'll be recognized out of the town. So congratulations, here you go. Moving right along, 6.8, Oneida County Music Educators Association Festival. So the OCMA High School Music Festival will be held in Waterville at their school on March 15th. So that's this weekend. And then on April 5th, we will be hosting the elementary concert here. So I think our SB Fab will be supporting that running sessions. And we'll have, I'm sure we'll have some staff on campus and help facilitate that. But we could get up to 1,000 visitors for that event. There will be, it starts at 3, there will be an orchestra and a chorus and band. So the kids will actually come here on Friday and practice, and then Saturday mornings and go to work all day, and then 3 o'clock. We'll be sending out more information as it goes. So we'll just words out of the post that. And 6.9 district update. So I just wanted to start by publicly thanking members of FCFAD, members of the PTO, and member of the Sauquoit Valley Foundation, because they have honored so many requests of our teachers, literally supporting us with thousands of dollars. So we just want to appreciate those community organizations and the support that they give to our school district. Last week on Monday, we hosted our instrumental concert, and the coming Wednesday, tomorrow night, the Vocal Pops concert for 5 o'clock. So that's always a fun spring concert. 7 o'clock in the high school auditorium. Our math counts, you mentioned the math counts, you mentioned it last time. You guys said they went up to Albany a couple weeks ago, and they finished just outside the top 10, which was still quite an accomplishment because we're over 40.
Right?
Yeah, over 40. Yeah, so good for them. That was, March 19th. So I sent out a parent square, update the date message for the upcoming ICANN presentation regarding cell phone and mental health. So I just want to remind everyone that that's occurring March 19th in the high school cafeteria. And I believe we'll have the flyer go. I think we have the flyer on staff, so tomorrow we'll probably go to the parent square. So we're looking for a big crowd for that.
Who's doing the presentation?
So Jeremy Butler from ICANN, and I believe he's bringing colleagues with him. There'll be a group.
There's childcare as well.
And they'll be offering childcare. So the event will be taking, the discussion will take place in the cafeteria, and then right across the hallway in the gym, we'll have staff on hand to supervise children if parents need that.
Mr. Flagg, has that presentation been presented anywhere else?
Not to my knowledge. I know Mr. Chavo is really working very closely with Mr. Butler, but I know that he has worked closely with a number of different elements of the community to provide information on this. It's also worth knowing that he does presentations to students as well. That's also been worked on. Yes.
Just want to recognize last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, February 26th, we had the National Honor Society induction right here in the auditorium. And that same night, the CTE of the OHM CTE Honor Society inductions. Our students conducted in that society as well. And 2 more things. March 13th, Elementary Science Fair will be occurring in, which room? The gym. It will be in the gym. Okay. So elementary school gym science fair, March 13th at 5 o'clock. And then lastly, I sometimes neglect to inform you that the T5 that Stephen Turnbull's insurance company that sponsors our staff appreciation. In January, we had Marisa Cardillo recognized, and in February, Sarah Hannah was recognized. Congratulations to those teachers, and thank you for sponsoring that T5 insurance. And that is all for the supervisor.
I guess I have to make a comment, Mr. Staten, on behalf of the board. We appreciate your thoroughness and sharing the information, because as much as you think we do know, there's a lot we don't. And to hear that, I think it's nodding your head. It's a pleasure to hear that from you.
So there's not going on. So actually on that note, so the administrative team, we met recently, and so each building sends out an update to their staff, a weekly update on what's occurring in their building. So we talked, we said, let's get that out to the district and the board members. So we're working on a template. Probably this Friday will be the first one. We're going to start sending updates to the entire district and to the board as well. There's so much happening. And I mean, obviously we can't wait, 2 weeks before we need to support that. So
That's wonderful.
Thanks.
We're good? We will move on to, oh, I'm sorry, how about any old business from the board? We'll move on to new business. New business contains 7.1 through 7.19, and then there's 2 additional resolutions of the completion. I will read 7.1 through 7.19. 7.1 is looking for the approval of a long-term, school counselor. 7.2 is looking for the approval of a substitute teacher. 7.3 is looking for the approval of a substitute bus driver. 7.4 is looking for the approval of a memorandum of agreement, the school-related professionals unit. 7.5 is looking for the approval of a public hearing for May 13th, 2025 and May 20th, 2025 for the annual meeting and budget vote.
This is only a time. Nobody needs to do anything. They're being recast. Just to confirm everything is working. Thank you.
7.6 is looking for the approval of an appointment of an election coordinator and inspector. 7.7 is looking for the approval and appointment of election officials. 7.8 is looking for the approval and authorization of our board clerk to fill alternate election official seats. 7.9 is looking for the approval of the appointment of a chairperson to report the results of the vote. 7.10 is looking for the approval of a retirement. 7.11 is looking for the approval of additional athletic appointments. 7.12 is looking for the approval of a permanent teacher aide appointment. 7.13 is looking for the approval of our policy updates. 7.14 is looking for the approval of the adopted 2025-26 school calendar. 7.15 is looking for the approval of a donation. 7.16 is looking for the approval of our treasurer's report. 7.17 is looking for the approval of our minutes from the February 11th, 2025 meeting. 7.18 is looking for the approval of the resolution authorizing payment of bills as approved by our claims auditor. And 7.19 is looking for the approval of our Committee on Special Education and Committee on Preschool Special Education recommendation. Board members have any questions or concerns on any of the above?
I don't have concerns, just want to make a couple of comments on 7.4. I just want to thank Allison Berger and Kathy Wakefield, our few officers, on lengthy process that we had for negotiating, so I'm glad that that's behind us. And 7.10, Stephanie Carbone, again, she's been here 34 years, we've been, obviously, no pun intended, instrumental to our music parts. So that just came out, I apologize, but no, she's, any of you that have had students that have gone through and worked with her, I think she's just outstanding, so.
34 years. I
Yeah.
know her first year.
You had students, my husband and her.
Student prayers.
Her first year was painting the first year. What? Absolutely.
Just wanted to congratulate her.
I also had 7.4 noted. I also wanted to thank Allison and Kathy for bearing with us and working with us through some difficult times. We knew this day would come. We didn't know when it would come, but we knew there would be an end sooner or later. But thank you both.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Goodman, I will abstain from 7.19. I'm not going to vote for myself. Board members, we need a motion to approve 7.1 through 7.19, please. CJ, second. Mr. McCutcheon, any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you. Now we'll move on to Resolution 1, which is a proposition, the electrical school bus proposition. I'm not going to read the whole thing, it's lengthy. But we do need a motion to approve with a second and the vote.
So let's.
Yeah.
Let's review it, like that's some, can we paraphrase this again? You know, we've done this.
So, yes. So this is not an electric bus. This is for the 2 diesel buses, actually, to read the resolution. The board can have the discussion tonight. There's nothing included about an electric bus tonight. Tonight would be to put forth a resolution to approve proposition for the 2 diesel buses. If the board wishes, next meeting, we will have that second resolution, so we'll completely separate them to have the board approve putting the electric bus proposition on as its own proposition as well. So tonight's, I think, is a lame duck, I hope. And then there can be discussion if they want to about whether or not we move forward with even putting the electric one before the voters in May.
This is business as usual.
Yeah, correct.
Question answered, Mr. McCool? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Cretel? Okay, we need a motion. Okay, Ron, second, Mike. Now discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion passed. Now we'll move to item number 9 with another resolution regarding the state environmental quality review capital outlaw project, which we've done for several years now. Charlie, any elaboration on that?
Just, it's a requirement. We have the secret resolution, or basically says that we're not impacting the environment in any way themselves, because it's all within the building. To continue replacing doors at the elementary school in 25-26. We're doing what we can with $100,000 this year. If the state approves a $250,000 capital outlay limit, 25-26, we will figure out a way to do that. But right now there's $100,000. We funded that with our debt service money to get it started this year. The aid we'll keep it going next year. If it goes up to 250, we'll fund it with some reserve money to allow us to do more. And really, we're planning to do another 100,000 for doors in 25-26, and that will finish the elementary school.
When we do an outlay project, are we saving the cost of architects?
No,
Or are we still involved in?
they still submitted to SCD, these architect drawings, so it's, you know, this project that we're doing right now, we're getting $84,000 worth of doors and $16,000 of architects. It's about all those.
Need a motion to approve? Mr. Sacco, second. Mr. Critelli, all in favor? Resolution is approved. Miscellaneous topics, Board of Education member?
I got a couple.
Yes, Mike.
I've been to many sports booster banquets. I thought that the Sunday was good instead of fighting everybody on a Tuesday night. And I wanted to make a comment about Paul Bader. So I don't know if you ever been to the sports banquets, but you know, the jocks come up and it's, you know, everyone comes up and so then it's bowling's turn to come up, right? So I never heard someone get so excited about bowling since like Wii Bowl. Right? This guy's talking about bowling and I'm getting all jacked up about bowling. Then he's talking about the kids on the bowling team. And boy, did they stand up straight and smile. I've seen all these sports banquets and bowling's just like a blip. It was great. I mean, really, I don't know, he's the new Spanish teacher, they keep him. Like, I really got a kick out of it. And I never seen, he called them the Colosimo brothers, like even like whips. I thought it was great. Let's get into the guardian of the track. How does the track look? Our one running track, the track outside. Because I know you're all around checking.
I haven't walked since the snow was melted.
I'd imagine it's a disaster. The next question is, what's the project called when we redo that track? Is that the capital? What do we call it?
Yes, so-
When do we get that?
Charlie and I have begun meeting with architects monthly for the capital project, and that's one of the topics we're gonna discuss at the facilities and transportation subcommittee meeting, but the track is on the agenda for the capital.
How about steeplechase this time?
Sorry.
Which was we were told it'd be on the next round. So I like to see steeplechase. I mean, I'm ahead of myself on that.
We could talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'd imagine that that tracks the hobbits.
The track isn't even that old, is it?
Well, now,
There's some kind
the
of,
one thing quick, so we were told, this is my opinion, you know me. But we were told one thing, and I think we got some spray paint and glue. Because we were told it was gonna be a certain thing. And then that, right after that season, there was holes in it, and there was a lot of problems with it. And then Scott Gillette had spoken to us about how the water gets under it, you know. Earth science. So that being said, I just know that whatever it was, we paid Super Bank for, I think we got hosed on it. That's just
and
my
there's no
opinion.
warranty, there's no.
Well, they did, no, they'd come back, Dave was on them hard, and they'd come back, but I mean, for how
You
long?
want them to touch it again, or?
They need to just whack that thing.
They just resurfaced just the top layer, and we knew at best it was gonna last 5 years. But we're talking about digging down and starting from the bottom.
Yeah, we got what we figured. We didn't, yeah, we knew it was gonna happen.
Well, I appreciate it,
They
thank you.
need to dig down. Find her. We couldn't afford to do that this past time. We put the turf field down. We needed to get to the turf field, so we knew we would have to do something to repair the track. We did what we were able to do financially, but it certainly wasn't a long-term fix.
I have a couple of things. David, you had mentioned the OHM honors, the National Honor Society. I attended that. I just wanted to know, we've had discussions about the value that we think BOCES has and how it's a very different atmosphere than it was 20 years ago. This Honor Society celebration there were so many students even in the honors programs for BOCES, that they actually had to call the students up in 2 different groups because they couldn't fit all the students up on the platform on the stage all at the same time. So I thought that was amazing. It's nice to see these kids excelling in these programs, and it's nice to see them utilizing these fantastic things. I mean, when we go to our annual dinners and we get to tour the different places, I mean, Lynn, we did welding. We had the helmets on, and it's fantastic. And then what was it, horticulture, the agriculture, I mean, I love seeing kids getting into BOCES and learning these just fantastic things. And I love seeing a group that was so big that they literally had to split the alphabet in half and do, okay, first student, everybody applauded once they were up there, and then they were like, okay, like second group, so that was fantastic. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, I probably, as long as I'm a board member, I'm going to keep bringing this up. I got to go to honors breakfast on Tuesday at the middle school. I love that we brought this back. I love being able to see the students. It's super fast. I'm glad that, that we have the support from the PTO for the refreshments in the morning. The kids get to collect their certificate. They get, their group pictures with their friends. I love that we have this. I'm grateful that this is back. And so every time we have an honors breakfast, you're gonna hear me talk about it, but loved being here last week to do that, so. Yeah,
It's a pleasure to hear.
I love it. I love it.
Well, and so many of the parents come, they take pictures of the kids, they post it on Facebook. I mean, that's all.
It's, and the older the kids get, like the less opportunity you have for stuff like that. And it's just so nice to be able to show up at the school and, see the kids in their element with their teachers and just kind of, just have that opportunity to pop in, and I love it. It's fantastic.
And you get their certificate while it's still in one piece with the wrinkles and rips on it.
You're always like,
So
I'll
when
take
you go
that
like
home.
display it at their graduation, it doesn't look like somebody ate it. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay. I want public to be heard. Yes, Mr. Webb.
Just want to comment on Stephanie Carbone, just real quick. I mean, she's obviously been there much longer than I was, but when I started working in middle school, she's in our 6th grade band, and she's just been a pleasure to work with, and very flexible, and the kids love her, and my own kids having her, and having her for lessons and things. I remember one story, her commenting on my daughter Rachel, how she must practice all the time, and I hated to break it, that her flute was always in my Jeep, it like never came in the house. So she was naturally, I guess, gifted at doing that, but Stephanie's just been a tremendous asset to the district, and just really.
I think Carl probably wants to see something and we're in the spot where you wanna.
What's
where
that?
it's
I'm
public- Public.
Sorry, I was
TV.
at a Pop Warner meeting,
Oh,
so I just cleared that, I just took on the treasurer of that, so kind of learned about that.
this is the part where it's public to be heard, and I know you wanted to come tonight to
Okay,
say something, so this would be the time.
okay, I guess, thank you for having me here. One question I had to do was, and I'm not sure if this is the correct platform to address this, and it's not a huge concern, but my son Nicholas, he's in 3rd grade, and my son Michael is in kindergarten, so I need proper training, by the way. Nicholas, one of the issues I have right now, growing up, we never had this issue, but is the classroom size. Currently, there's 25 to 26 kids per 3rd grade. There's 3 teachers. 4th grade is the same thing, there's only 3 teachers. So I guess in Michael's class, there's only 12 per class. So I guess my concern as a parent, and I've heard this from various other parents, because parents talk amongst each other, is there gonna be any change going from 3rd grade to 4th grade? Is there gonna be any conversation of adding a teacher or maybe shifting a teacher from one of the lower levels to 4th grade, so maybe lower the classroom size? Because I don't think that's fair for the students and also for the teachers. I mean, that's a lot to put on a teacher, 25 students. And obviously it takes away from the education for the kid at 25. And that's something you hear in some of the inner city school districts. We never really hear about that in the rural districts, do you? I mean, I'm not in education, so I don't 100% know. But that's just one of the concerns I had. And I don't know if there's any, maybe nobody has talked about it before, but I'm just bringing it up, just 'cause I know we're gonna start, this school, we're virtually through this school district or school year, and I know we're gonna be going on to the next one. So to have 25 kids per grade next year, I think it's just gonna be unfair for the kids. And obviously the teacher as well. It's a big burden for the teacher.
Mr. Planning, Mr. Putnam, and I can get back to you on that.
Okay, just nothing, like I said, just starting a conversation, because I know we're going into the next year.
Thank you, Carl.
Thanks for
coming. Thank you, Carl.
We are aware that it is something that we have had a couple of discussions.
Thank you, sorry, I was catching my breath and. So, but thank you for present.
It's going to be Mr. Putnam is here. Statement, we'll follow up. Thank you. Okay, all right, if that's it, then I need a motion to adjourn for executive session to discuss personnel. CJ, second, Mike, thank you, all in favor?
Right.
The board will go into executive session to discuss personnel.